Alright boys, we're going to try to make this a quick one today, although there's a lot that I want to do. Do pause, power plus full, and same for the cleans. Pause clean plus jerk. I think I just put one. Yeah, so I'm going to do 3 sets of the snatches, 2 of the clean jerks, and we'll see how that goes. But I had like 12,000 steps today. I started teaching jump rope. I think I mentioned this in the last video. And I don't know what it is about jump rope, but it like exponentially, like I had 2 empty slots today, which means that if I had one of the longer days where I had an additional class in one of those empty slots, I had 12,500 when I got in my car. Like I would have been over 13K, which is, I mean, I've been like around 10 most days. So that's 20% more, which is obviously a pretty significant bump. But I tried to have my pre-workout coffee. They have some instant coffee things at school. And I drank my coffee instead of sitting in traffic, which I had to, I inevitably will have to do anyway. But instead of trying to, get out faster, I just sat for, I probably left 5 minutes later than I normally did. I didn't come out here any earlier though, so I don't know if I'll continue to do that, but it's at least an option, I suppose. But we're going to do the pauses, and we're going to try to keep the session quick. Move this a little bit. But I think apparently the way I'm teaching jump rope is just going to cook me as far as the amount of steps I'm doing. Which, let me do some warm-up sets, and I can talk about how I instruct little children to do the big jump rope. In Soviet Russia, jump rope, jump you. So basically when I was thinking back of how I taught it last year, I realized I kind of had to teach them how to jump, which they know how to hop and how to jump, but little kids, a lot of times when they jump with a jump rope, they jump too high. They don't have that boxer jump where you get that good rhythm. And so what I had them do, and this was nice because burned a lot of energy from them, it got them moving, and it showed me just coordination things that they kind of generally lack. I guess before I put it on, I'll show you. So we had the jump ropes all around the gym, and I had them kind of make it a line, and we basically worked on 2 feet, jumping over, and then splitting, jumping over, and then trying to do it with 1 foot. The 1 foot is a little bit, so it's difficult for adults to do that, but jumping with 2 feet was fine, but it was really interesting. The splitting, like that coordination, was difficult for a lot of kids, and it's always neat when you learn stuff like that, because like the jumping was fine with 2 feet, but the act of having to, I started them with their feet split over the rope, the act of jumping and being able to coordinate your feet. A lot of the kids, this was really interesting. So the older kids were usually fine with it, but a lot of the kindergartners, they would twist. So they would switch, but the way that they would get their foot over is by spinning and twisting their body instead of doing what I think is intuitive and just moving your feet. So that was really interesting because there was a lot of kids that did that in the younger ages, in the kindergarten. And the way that I got through that, because this was the first day I had done it, and I don't know if I've done like that split jump thing with them before, but one, I should know what their hips are, because little kids don't know what their hips are, but with the class I had after with the first grade, I had them start that split, and then just practice jumping, like just jumping and not moving their feet, and then doing it to where they just step, so bring 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, exaggerate the slow motion. And that seemed to help, but also first graders are going to be better at it. A lot of kids, I'd say the majority of kids just kind of can do it. with kindergarten, I'd still say it was probably the majority could kind of figure it out, but it was interesting. The ones that couldn't, it was moving with their hips instead of with their legs. So it was a very interesting phenomenon, because when it's one kid, you're like, that's just how that kid figures out how to move. But when it's several, then it's like, this is just how kids move. So I guess you're not really doing that motion a lot, but it was very, very, I mean, odd. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it was surprising because it was like, I don't know, I figured they would struggle in some regards, but I didn't really envision that being the error. But now I know, and honestly, the kindergartners even did pretty well with jump ropes. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it would be a real big struggle. So I think all that jumping preparation, the hopping, I guess, preparation, really kind of helped them as they were getting to the more advanced steps, which not like they were jump roping, doing 10 or 12 in a row, but some of them kind of could figure it out. All right. Time for me to figure out how to snatch. But that's one of the neat things with teaching like that is you get to learn idiosyncrasies of biomechanics that you just don't think about being a problem or being like a thing. And I think that comes down to that movement is not natural for every kid, just like reading or math is not. And so figuring out ways to teach it to different kids is obviously the trick of being a teacher. But I think one thing that makes it difficult for someone, just an average person, to teach a group of kids a skill is you may intuitively know how to do it, but it's hard to think of solutions to the problem, like hips things. And most people probably, maybe they figure it out or whatever, but it's hard to kind of scale that. And really, I think the hardest part of teaching is just doing it consistently over and over and over. I think 99% of people could teach a PE class once and be fine, but the stamina to do it all day long, whether it's PE or any subject area, and then do it multiple times a week, most of the year, and like enjoy it. I think it's difficult for the average person to do, but that kind of like problem solving is really interesting, because it's just like you learn something. I mean, completely new, because I haven't experienced that. There's a mosquito there. But the other benefit too is like, this is the first day of doing that lesson. I have 3 more days of doing this lesson with the other classes I haven't seen yet. As you figure out stuff, you make mental notes while it's happening, but actual notes after. But then you can immediately make those changes in the next day. And as when you do anything, consistently try to improve it so that it's better and better. Because nothing is perfect the first time. And especially when you don't anticipate, something like that, you're like, oh, well, I can just make this change and make this adjustment, and then it works on that problem. Then I know to kind of pre-teach it in the next day. And that's kind of where the hopping and stuff even came from, was like, I'll just kind of pre-teach the jumping instead of having them just practice jump roping the whole time, because they'll get frustrated. The hopping, everyone can figure out to do, and then give them a little bit of time at the end to do it. And some foot coordination. But man, yeah, that was 12,500 steps, and I was trying to sit a little bit too. At the end of the day, when I was realizing my pace of steps was so much higher than normal. All right, 60. And even speaking of my cold, it's like mostly gone. I didn't take any cold medicine last night to sleep. Thought that was really bad enough to sleep, but just not to deal with the sinuses when I'm trying to sleep. Took some this morning just to make sure that nothing got worse. But nose is mostly clear. It's not really running or anything. The problem that I was worried about when everything's draining, it going down and making my voice raspy. I had a teacher, I was mentioning I was getting wore out from the jump roping, and she was like, she thought I was sick. She's like, you sound kind of worse. I might sound a little bit worse, but usually not always a good sign if you lose your voice, but when everything's draining, sometimes that can make you sound worse. I've had that happen before, where I'm like, I swear I'm feeling good, but I sound like I've been doing packs of Marlboros on the regular. I'm really not excited for these lifts today. I don't feel bad. I am definitely like actually achy though. So I think, I don't know if we'll do the 3. We'll see how this 80 feels. We're just gonna do one. Oh, I'm just wore out. And I think especially, obviously considering the steps, we'll do a tactical reset while I'm thinking about it. Considering the amount of steps I got in, and honestly the amount of jumping. Think about jumping over a jump rope, it's not really that strenuous, but I did it 7 times today. And all that little bit, that's one of the reasons I had so many steps is I was doing that. So a lot of that's going to add up to me being more sore today. So part of the exercise in me having these sessions like this is trying to be nicer to myself. I wanted to do 3. Probably knew with the front squats yesterday that wasn't going to be likely. But it gives me room to grow still in these sessions during the week where hopefully I recover better from them. But I'm still increasing, and throughout the years that's always been really difficult when it's I have one good day of training, so every day that week should just go great because I had one good day, every day should be great. And it's not necessarily a bad mindset to have, that you want to train well every day, but there are consequences to training well, and it usually means you've done more weight, you've done more volume, and that means that you're going to have to recover more the next day. And I still lifted, lift felt relatively fine. I could probably hunker down and do the 3 sets, but how it felt on the first one, it's just going to make me more achy and then build on that fatigue versus, take the win of doing 80, of squatting more than I did last week yesterday, and just building upon that session to session. Because if the strength numbers are going up, then the weightlifting numbers should correlate to that, and that's just the mindset I have to have. Because these heavy sessions at the end of the week, the first 2 have gone really well, and I've done at most 90 kilos in the snatch, or 130 or whatever, 20 in the clean and jerk. And so I know that these deliberate lighter sessions, intentionally lighter sessions without equipment, are then correlating to productive sessions. And I would say that my 115 and 145 from this past heavy session looked better than the previous week. they certainly felt better. The clean maybe not as much, but the snatch was better and the jerk was better. And so if I can continue that momentum, then as my legs get stronger and stronger, then everything's just going to get better and better. And that's the other tricky part too, is like today it's like, oh, I'll squat 190 like I did last week. Like, maybe I won't. Like, maybe that's not the smart thing to do. Maybe I should do a little bit less. Because all the days are kind of shuffled up slightly, but also like, when you squat well, like I said, you do more volume, you do more intensity. It has downstream ramifications. And it's really easy to be a buffoon. You're like, I will just increase every day and try to get stronger every day. As fun as that would be, you can only do that for so long before you run into a brick wall. I think I did the push press yesterday. I put jerks today? Yeah. So just one pause clean and a jerk, and I'm already just going to plan to do just a single. We'll do the volume of the pulls. I think that's always like, if you're going to compromise a training session, if you can still do the strength work, that's always going to be the preferred versus doing more in the weightlifting movements. Because they're so technical, and at least I feel like getting stronger is more important than trying to do, 3 sets of snatches instead of 1. I'd rather do more pulls. Maybe that's an incorrect way of thinking about it, but it's at least the easier way to think about it in some sense, because at least for me, pulls are really easy. So I kind of want to do power plus full. So I think we'll do that, and maybe 2 jerks. Maybe a push press again. I don't know. Now I'm starting to sound like an idiot. Talking about doing less, now I want to do more. We'll just do the clean. Pause clean plus a jerk. It feels good. We'll see what I'm going to do tomorrow, but push press and stuff maybe tomorrow. It's weird on the pauses, I keep bumping my left shin. It's probably because I suck at weightlifting. Probably because I'm a bad immoral person. I think that's what creates technical faults in the lifts. Bad morals. Thou shalt not have bad technique. But honestly, what it does show me is that I should just do more pauses. Like, it's good for me to do. I think I put that for my pulls today, to do pause, clean pulls. It's usually what I have, like the pauses before. I'll do them as well. Maybe we even do a pause squat. The only thing that's not pause will be the jerk. Maybe we'll do a pause jerk. Now you can see how my brain works when I'm programming. That's why I can't trust myself. 8 different ideas. Definitely keep those in, the jerks. Because I felt like my footwork regressed. That means I should do it more. And why not just pause literally everything on pause? This would be pause day. Man, I'm a psychopath writing 190 on there. I just be writing numbers. I guess we'll see how the squats feel. We'll do pauses though. But even on a day like today where I'm definitely not as recovered as I could be coming into the session, I feel like intra sets, my heart rate is like recovering faster. So these sessions are definitely so good for many reasons, but it's just nice that like it feels like I can just run through these sessions, which makes you feel like I'm just trying to get them done, but like it's not fun to feel sore and not like have a, I don't say a chance to lift heavy, but like feel good to lift heavy. But I think these are always the most important days because you get more practice, you can still get a lot of productive stuff done, and it builds grit, which is intangible, but one of the most important things you can have as a person, and in any context, but in lifting, grit is hard to measure, but easy to see. And to me, I feel like the days where you're hopped up on caffeine, and not that I've been drinking coffee for these sessions, less than I did in the past, but when it's like my heavy Saturday session, like you're not really like jazzed up for that, then it's like what are we even doing? But to come in these sessions and still want to work hard, I think that's what grit is, because like yeah, you need grit on like a hard lift, but like you want to do a heavy, hard, difficult lift. I don't want to do an 80 kilogram snatch. I talk it up a little bit, that's productive, but like I'm not lying awake at night thinking about the next time I'm going to do, an 80 kilogram double. It's not that exciting, but having the grit of I'm still going to put effort in, I'm still going to have the correct technique, I'm not going to be lazy with it, I'm still going to try to do everything as correct with it as I can. Same with clean and jerk, like I'm not excited about 110 inherently, but I'm more excited that like I can do those when I'm not mentally like, ooh, ready to go and blaring music and doing all that stuff to get into that zone, and I'm able to just make things routine. Routine is good. Routine good. Routine good. Same thing every day, good. But it's also when you do one session like I did the other day where I increased the amount of snatches I did, it's hard for me to not want to do that every single day, because like, well, now I'll just do 3 sets instead of 1 for everything. But like take that win, try to continue the same thing throughout the week, because it adds up to more at the end of the week. And I'm increasing the strength lifts, and that adds up during the week because you have all the sets building up to that, of course, but also just the sheer intensity. I have to take small wins. It's hard to take small wins when big wins are more fun. But we'll see how these pauses feel. Oh, I don't think they're going to feel very good. I don't know about it. We'll see though. The bar always lies. So do my knees. Well, knee. I had the weirdest. I've never had like a knee injury. I had a knee scope in college. So that's just frayed cartilage they clean up, so that's not like structural damage. But the only time I've had like a pop in my knee followed by pain and restriction of movement of some sort was actually, I want to say it was last year. And I used to do like snatch plus overhead squat. Like I would just do a top set of snatch and just do an overhead squat after. I had one. It was 110 or 115. You know, heavy, but not maximal. And did the snatch fine. Stood up fine. Did the overhead squat, and on the squat down, I wasn't like dive bombing because I can't. I'm not that coordinated or able to do it. But halfway down, above parallel, I felt a pop above my knee. Not even necessarily in my knee. But it was like, oh, that was weird. And I dropped it because it didn't feel right. And then it hurt for like a week. And then it was fine. And that was my left knee. And typically I've never had any issues with that. And it was even more weird. But it was like right above there. And I still don't like really know what it was because it hurt. It was restricted for a little bit. Like bending kind of wasn't like a major restriction. Like I could still function in life. But like lifting was kind of annoying for a week. And then it was fine. Didn't really have swelling or anything, so I have no idea what that is. Maybe I just have incredibly high pain tolerance and I just tore my ACL and didn't realize it. But like, also with how knee injuries and weightlifting are really rare because of how stable and predictable the movements are. When you're squatting down, you have both your feet planted. There's not alignment hitting you. And I'm doing an overhead squat with a significantly less weight. I mean, less than 50% of what I can back squat. And so it's not a difficult load for my legs to handle, nor am I forcing my legs to be in an uncomfortable position. Usually I adjust my feet and then do the overhead squat when I do it after a snatch. So it was just even more bizarre because it was just like literally right there and it was like, oh, what was that? And I just, basically threw the bar down. I didn't even try to finish the lift, the overhead squat. And I still don't know what that was. That was truly bizarre. I don't have any issues with it now, so I mean, I want to say it's well, that's how you know it was a very unimpactful injury is I'm pretty sure it's my left knee that did it, but I also can't confirm that with 100% certainty. It could have very well been my right knee. It shows how much issues I have from it now, but it was still very bizarre. That's still the closest I've ever had to an injury in the knee ligament, I would guess, or I don't know. My actual theory of what it was is, I mean, if I tore something, then I probably would have had a lot more issues. What I theorize is that it was a piece of cartilage that just broke free. Because when I had my right knee scope, that's what it was, is frayed cartilage was like catching on different, as my knee was moving and creating pain. So what I'm guessing is that there was some sort of cartilage or something that just broke free at that moment, gave me that weird feeling, and created some inflammation then right after. Or maybe I tore a ligament and I'm just made of steel. Alright, I saw Ivan Jurek got his account back. I had one of his videos saved on my watch for later. I didn't realize it, and it popped up today. I was like, oh, it's back. So that's good for him. I mean, speed felt good. Knee's a little achy. We'll soak up though. We still dive in. I'll do a tactical reset while I'm thinking about it. We'll go ahead and hammer this out. I think I want to be able to get done in 20 minutes. It's 6:58 right now. And of course, today, since I did volume yesterday, just singles in the squat. Yep. All right, feels better. Just gotta add weight. When in doubt, just increase the weight. And that right there is why I don't trust like 90% of the pain I have. Is like I just keep working out and it just goes away. You do the bar, you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to lift anything today. Then I go up 110 pounds. And I'm like, well, it feels better. So we're gonna go right to 170. See how that feels. Actually, we're gonna. I'm gonna be devious. I'm gonna do 150. So I'm gonna do 175 or 180. I'm a devious man. So we're not doing 190. That'd be too big of a jump anyway. But we'll do 175 maybe? Well, let's see how 150 feels. This is a smarter jump anyway, with pauses. I mean, it's just the, you know, the normal amount of pain. So we'll do, I think 175 is a smarter number, especially for pauses. If we could find the collar, that would look more aesthetic. We did 170 the other week, so this will be more. I want to play music for this one, but I don't want to be a cheater. I should scream before I lift, because that's apparently cheating and performance enhancing as well when you yell. I like the idea that you see someone goofy yelling, and the thought is like that's cheating, or that's like not a valid way to train. When like none of this crap matters. Train how you want. If you want to, you know, get hopped up on caffeine and like just rip the bar around, it's like, what does it matter? You know, none of us are in a Russian training system and have Olympic aspirations as far as winning Olympic medals. Like, it's just not the cards. Why not have fun with it? I just don't understand that. Oh, he's screaming, look at this Olympic guy, he's been lifting his whole life and he's not getting, it's like, he likes that, you know, like the, St. Grain's like lifts with that guy that, you know, yells a bunch when he lifts, like, he's lifted with that guy a bunch, so clearly St. Grain isn't bothered by it, otherwise he just wouldn't be around that guy. And like Akbar Drive, I'm sure it is probably like different to see that, you know, guy yelling around, but like, they know, or at least the people that let them go into like the Uzbek training hall probably are aware of that guy and like what he trains like, and if it was like, nah, it's not gonna work, like, they just wouldn't let him there. But like, who cares? It's inanimate objects we're lifting here. If you want to yell, if you want to be a stoic, it's like, just do what you want. It's the same idea. It's like, oh, you know, you listen to music to like do a lift or whatever. It's like, I love music. Music is great. That's half the reason I like lifting, is to jam the music. As I say, as I'm deciding whether to listen to music or not. I think I've talked myself into blaring some music while I do this set. How about that? How about that? We'll do a tactical reset so I have a shorter copyright section to deal with. But yeah, I mean, if you want to jam the music, you want to go hog wild every day. I mean, I think the reason not to do that is that if you're, you know, say you're yelling or screaming and you're getting like super hyped up every day, that's hard to maintain that all the time. But like, there's no reason, if you want to do that, like, you're probably going to have bigger ebbs and flows to your training. You're going to have days where you do that and it feels great. And you're going to have other days where you do that and you're just like, you burnt out the next day. And to me, I view that as like the ooga booga energy. And I think that's a huge, I mean, it's just like listening to music. It's like, you unlock the ooga booga and you lift a big weight. But if you ooga booga every single weight all the time, it probably isn't sustainable. So maybe that way that guy trains isn't the most optimal. But is it fun for him? It probably is. Why wouldn't it be fun? And that's the most important part of training, is you should enjoy it on some level. Because if you're not, then it's just a job. And I already got a job. I already got a job I like. I get 2 jobs I like now. Alright, I don't know that's the problem I have now. I don't know what I want. I don't know what the gobbity goop is today. What's the... Ooh, we'll go with some title fight. Big pause. Big pause. Ah! Ah! Yeah. Ah. 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 You gotta add some extra yells in there. But, I mean, it's like the yell I did for that lift. Like, that helps. Now, you don't think that helps, then I don't know. You're not human. That's like caveman energy. That's ooga. That's the ooga booga we talk about. That's going to be my doctoral dissertation is on ooga booga. Yelling before lifts. It's like I just saw an article, or someone was talking about a research study, and I've seen it before, but cussing helps you lift more weight. And it's the same idea of yelling, is you're basically giving yourself like a sharp emotional response to something, and it makes it easier to deal with. I mean, think about any time that you've stubbed a toe or you've hurt a finger or something, and you're hurt. As an adult, what do? You probably say some sailor words. And you know what? That helps you deal with the pain. And the thought of not being able to say that makes it harder. And that right there is a 175 pause back squat. Relevant? No. But it's relevant to my training, and it's fun for me to do. And who cares? I'm lifting in a freaking shed. I'm about to be 33. I'm old. Have fun with your training. Listen to some music. Or don't. Like that's the fun part. Is like, people are like, oh, you gotta get a coach, you gotta do this. I'm like, just lift weights. You don't need to make it a job. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to do it. You just need to do it. And if you like it, if you like to do power clean sometimes, then do freaking power clean. So if you want to do the whole weightlifting shebang, do it. Because at the end of the day, none of us are showing up at the Olympics because we didn't start steroids when we were 12 years old. And so all you can do is just try to get better at what you were. And that's literally true of any sport that you do, any activity. If you go in dreading every session and try to act like a stoic all the time and that's not natural to you, then you're going to hate training. You're just going to quit. I've seen so many people that start weightlifting and then quit because it's hard. And the only reason they stuck with it as long as they did is because you have people around you, for them it was like a social thing, and they enjoyed the social aspect of everyone kind of going through the same thing and like, you know, doing the same activity. Ugh. For me, it's fun to feel athletic. The minute I did a heavy clean, that was one that I knew I didn't pull high enough to do a theoretical power. So when I had to get underneath, that's when I realized this is more fun than powerlifting. This is more exhilarating than powerlifting. This makes me feel stronger and more athletic. And that's enough motivation for me to keep doing it. No. I almost feel like people gatekeep stuff like weightlifting, and I feel like it happens a lot less in powerlifting, actually. I think people are a lot more open to people just doing it and not having a coach and all of that. And granted, it's significantly easier to powerlift from a technical standpoint, but like, if you're just an ordinary person, the most important thing for weightlifting and any of these strength sports is that you just have more people do it. And if that means you got, idiots like me that are just weightlifting in their shed just for the giggles of it, then that's good for the sport. Me posting this crap online, yeah, it's good for, I guess, me in the sense that like I get to, get to talk about myself, but the more weightlifting that people do and the more content people do, the more interested people are going to be in the sport. I was weird in how I got into it, but I know that a lot of people are going to see it in the Olympic sense and think that those people are unattainable from both a athletic and strength standpoint because the amount of time and drugs that they're on, and then they're going to go and see people that are a lot closer to what is normally achievable, random idiots like me, and they're going to be more motivated because at least when I see Lasha do a snatch, it's cool from like a physics standpoint, but doesn't motivate me. I'm not like, well, if I work real hard, I'll snatch 225 kilos. Seeing someone snatch 130, I go, that's motivating. Because I've done 130, and I could do it again. I hope I can do it again. And, it's like, you see stuff like that, that's motivating. And that's the benefit of the internet. You get to see people at all levels of strength. And God forbid people have fun just lifting weights at whatever level that they're at. Chances are, if you like lifting and you do it for a long enough time, you're going to get a lot stronger. It's not really complicated. And if you like to get hyped up every day, and that keeps you going, just do it. Life's hard enough as it is. There's no reason you should be worried about how your lifting methodology is being perceived. If you want to go crazy every day and max out every day, just do it. Just do it. As long as you're lifting. As long as you're trying to have fun working out. Just frustrates me when there's these like people that get mad at people just lifting. It's like that guy screaming. What's he doing? He's just lifting weights. He's doing 50 kilogram power snatches. He's not hurt. He's not doing anything wrong. Technically, I mean, it's 50 kilograms, so obviously his technique's going to be fine, but like, who cares? If he wants to lift naked and do 50 kilogram power snatches while he's screaming like a banshee, that would be fine too. Like, just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too inclusive as a teacher. I just want everyone to participate, but just go out there, listen to tunes, or don't. Drink a bunch of caffeine, or don't. But try to get yourself better. I think that's the more important thing. Just try to get a little better. Improve yourself from where you were before. Whether it's lifting, chest, or brushing your teeth. Just get a little better, because life's better when you're better. We're just going to do singles on the way up. We got working sets. I'm all fired up today. I'm fired up. I'm all fired up. How about that? So I think it was what? Beefcake Sensei and Steady Gains or whatever. Have fun lifting and try to get better at it. And if you don't care about getting better at lifting, you want to get healthier, man, that's a good goal too. Like, maybe I'll get old and soft. I just think people should just try to enjoy their time, because it's finite. I'm only going to be able to lift heavy weights for so long before they eventually get weaker and weaker, and then I get old and frail. And everything but the pulls. I think I'm going to be 80 and still deadlifting 500 pounds. That's my hot take, but I'm probably not going to be snatching 120 kilos when I'm 80. That's also not as hot of a take. But, so like, the time that you get to have fun lifting in the gym is fine. I mean, and, in my mind, my regret is never how I've trained when I started weightlifting. My regret, not even really a regret, is my wish is that I would have discovered weightlifting earlier, because I just would have been better at it. I would have started it earlier. I would have liked it. I'm built for it, and from a mental standpoint, but in many ways a physical standpoint. And I don't know. It's just I think I'm distracting myself. I meant to do pause plus a regular one. So, well, I guess we're doing doubles on the way up actually. I'm yapping too much. So I put 1 + 1. That has to be what it means, right? Surely. I think most importantly, all this stuff I said is just deadlift heavy. It's fun. Do your heavy pulls. Don't listen to what anyone tells you. They're fun. They look cool. It's a great way to stay in shape. If you ain't pulling, someone strawman said, I ain't forget. Deadlift good. That's all I know. Man, I'm fired up today. We're up to 170. So we're kind of close to that 20-minute mark that I set. We're at 18 minutes, so I'm actually going to do 2 sets at 190. We'll see, but we'll see how 170 feels, because I did 3 at 170 last week. We'll see. Maybe I'll just do 3. Pulls are easy, so might as well do more of them. Whew. The pauses make it more difficult. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Not I. If any of you have made it to this part of the video, you're an absolute Chad. And if you use the AI summary to figure all the yappenings that I had, I appreciate that too. Because I like using that feature. Because sometimes I feel bad when I don't have time to watch everyone's videos that I follow. And sometimes it's nice to use that, especially for really long videos, to kind of find the things I'm looking for, or the cliff notes, because I like supporting people, but especially during the school year, I just don't have the hours to sit and watch a bunch of stuff. Wish I did. We're just going to do 1 set, do 1 big set, because I am achy. That pause squat was real nice too. It was difficult, but not really any more difficult than the 170. And we got the 170. I really am doing 2 sets of pulls, so I mean, I'm really only cutting out 1. But it's hard to kind of linearly progress all the strength sets that you do in the volume as well all the time. So all this to say, I'm coping and I'm lazy, but we're just gonna do 1 and go in and cook I got some steak. Cook some steak in the air fryer. I'm a psychopath. I'm gonna put ketchup on it too. I don't know why people dog on putting ketchup on steak, but that's my other hot take. Ketchup on steak is good. Ketchup is good. Maybe I'm just a redneck. But I grew up putting ketchup on steak. I didn't even think anything of it. And I was provided with A1 and ketchup, and I chose ketchup. And I wasn't propagated. I remember that was like one funny thing that people criticized Donald Trump for. I was like, what's wrong? I remember seeing that. I'm like, that's what I literally did as a kid. It's like, I don't know, it's like red meat and ketchup, like, it's like a burger. But, I mean, if a steak's cooked well, I would say not like well done, but like cooked, if the process is done correctly, you don't really need or really want a lot of, ketchup or whatever on it. But like, if I'm getting some really cheap steak, I just kind of want that steak taste. Like, well, You know, put ketchup. That's my other. Put ketchup on everything. That's why I have lots of hot takes today. Ketchup's good. Use it on everything. Alright, we'll do one more set. Right knee's a little achy. Left hip's not too bad. Those are like the two main things I'm dealing with in my legs, but when the right quad tendon gets a little achy, that tends to kind of hang around more. The hip tends to correlate with that, but if I have a lot of like quad tendonitis feeling, then it certainly makes training not feel very nice. So this one actually might feel pretty difficult. So I'm not very strong. I'm pretty weak. It's unfortunate. I don't have music playing or screaming, so that's like 25% of my strength gone. That pull was forward, but we're good. We're good. That's going to be it for me, though. If there's ever topics you want me to ramble on about, or you're wondering about my opinions of, I got all the time in the world. It's my second job, one I love very much. Lifting inanimate objects, and sometimes listening to music while I do it. But that's it for this one. If you made it to this point, I appreciate it. Talk to you all in the next one. Peace.